Hello everyone, it's the 1st of October today, and going to be looking at this formal upright false cypress, Chamaepiferus, I can't say it, Chamaepiferus. It looks okay over there, but I'm really kicking myself on this one. I like to think that my channel is mostly very positive, with positive videos, but I've always said you get the rough with the smooth in any hobby you do, and this is going to be one of the rough videos, I'm afraid. I'll move it down onto the bench and give you a closer look. If you're new to my channel, you may not have seen this tree before, or indeed you may have joined more recently and still not seen it. I'll just pop in this soft drinks can, which has seen better days, but well, it gives you at least a sort of sense of the scale of this tree. It is quite a big tree. I've had it a number of years and been growing very successfully. This year, however, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't spot it sooner, and that when I spotted it I didn't know straight away what it was. But I had an infestation of what I found out to be conifer aphids, or at least that was the consensus of most likely, and I have sprayed the whole tree with pesticide, which seems to have arrested the problem. Unfortunately, I thought it was something else. I didn't realise that it was conifer aphid, and in particular they seem to be in the back where they had found some shelter, I guess, of the fence behind, and so they really dug into a few places and then started to spread out, and they since spread out to a lot of the tree. So I've got a lot of dead patches, including back here an entire dead branch, which is really a little bit annoying, upsetting, because I've been trying to fill in this gap at the back here for quite some time and was finally getting there. So I've always said I will show you my disasters as well as my successes. I think too many hobbies are out there where people only show you their glorious successes, and if you're a newbie or not been doing it for long, it can be quite disheartening just when you have your own failures, and I think it's useful for me to say this can happen to me, it can happen to you, it can happen to anyone. As I say, I wasn't observant enough, didn't catch it in time, so now I'm having to deal with the aftermath. What I need to do now is essentially get rid of all the dead pieces. They're going to sit in there over winter, get wet and soggy and rot, and that won't be good for the living tissue around that. So what I want to do is get in there, and I'm cutting out entire dead pieces like so. The tree's going to look proper denuded afterwards. I mean, I'm having to take out some big pieces. Fortunately, I have had success with this tree in back budding. Unlike a lot of coniferous trees, I have found it will back bud, even onto old wood. Rarely, if ever, exactly where you want it or need it, but it will do it. And I'm hoping that if I can just let light and air into these gaps where we have these dead branches, that the tree may pick up next spring and throw me out some new shoots that can then be trained in. As I say, if I leave this stuff in here, it's just going to hold on to moisture and dampness and rot away and cause major problems further down the line. So it's going to be a question of just trimming away much of the dead stuff as I can, leaving stuff that looks like it's clinging to life. These conifer aphids, they're so small, they really are almost impossible to see. And I don't like using pesticides, so I sprayed the patches that seem to be affected. And I was later informed that actually, by the time the patches look affected, the aphids have moved on. They're not there anymore because that bit's dead or dying or not benefiting them, and so you need to spray the green stuff. And rather foolishly, I don't use pesticides and I don't like to spray. I kind of missed the boat on spraying them and getting rid of them more comprehensively because I left them on the green. So obviously when I found that out, I was able to give the whole tree a darn good spray. I probably overcompensated at that point, but at least I hope I've arrested the problem for now. Anyway, you get the idea with this, so I'm just going to keep trimming until all the dead bits are gone and see what we have left. Okay, so that's got rid of all the dead and dying. In this particular branch, it has left it denuded and a bit bare. Some of this stuff I would normally be pinching right now, or in actual fact I probably should have done it a few weeks ago, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to give the tree a good feed and pinch it in the spring. But at least that's got rid of all this, the dead stuff out of this branch, which gives it room to breathe, as it were. Room to breathe through the cold, damp, wet months ahead. So I'm going to go over the whole tree, doing exactly the same thing, and we'll see how bare it looks at the end. Okay, just to drag this video, Max kicking and screaming, back into the positive. There is a lot of backbudding going on. I've got new shoots right in fairly deep into the branches here, and in particular along here, lots of new shoots. We don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. You might just have to take my word for it. But that's a positive sign that the tree can recover. If it doesn't recover enough, it may be that it will stop being a formal upright and may have to become redesigned, but I'm hoping to keep it, as it's the only sort of formal upright that I do have in my collection, and it'd be nice not to lose it. Okay, so nearly at the end. So far I've been at this for an hour and a half, and I've removed quite a lot. I have been encouraged though that where I'm removing pieces like this, there is a new shoot next to it to replace it. So that's encouraging. Okay, so that's about done for this branch. I mean, there are odd yellowing, I'll say needles for want of a better term, but they're not really spiky in a needly type way, but I guess you know what I mean. And they can be brushed off once they die off fully, because they've got green on the end, and I don't want to remove too much at this stage as we're heading into autumn and winter. This is a bit that's going to hurt. I'm going to have to remove this entire branch, and I'm going to just take it back to a stub like so, with the view that I may gin this next year. I don't know how easily you can see that. Yeah, I think I might gin that next spring. On the other hand, I may be able to get a branch like this in here to grow through, in which case I may be able to graft it to replace where there's a bit of a hole in the back of the tree, but it's not as bad as I feared it was going to be. I can see every now and again I've missed a few pieces, but like I said, I've been at this an hour and a half now. I'm going to go and get myself something to eat and come back and look at it later with some fresh eyes, and I'm fairly certain I'll see odd bits that'll pop out at me, and they can be removed then. So I did this work in this tray, and you can see how much I've removed. I have in some cases removed some living tissue to get rid of a fairly substantial length of deadwood, but as I say, it's 1st of October and we're heading into autumn and winter, so I didn't really want to prune it back too hard at this point. Next spring will be the time to do that. So let's move this to one side, and then we can have one last look at the tree before the rain hammers down. Okay, let's give you a quick 360. It has left the tree a little bit sparse in places, but I'm fairly happy that it will recover. So, thank you so much for watching. Please do take care of yourselves, everybody. It's much appreciated. Stay safe.